Happy New Year and welcome into the Pats Nation. I'm Corso. Catone is here. Joe's with us in the booth. You are watching us on YouTube, listening on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, anywhere you podcast. You can catch us. And when you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Give us that thumbs up. Like the show. Leave a comment. We will play it or talk about it or anything you want. So make sure you're coming with a take on that. And you can give us a call and Heated Hotline, 855-313-PATS, P-A-T-S. Message line 24/7. We got a bunch of them. We got a bunch of them on the Diggs and Bondmore situation. We're going to talk about that today a little bit. So bear with us there. And you can email us in our mailbag, corso.catone@gmail.com. Got a good one today in Weekly Rewind. Going to talk about that Diggs and Bondmore situation just a little bit. Then we're going to go into the quarterback room in Drake Mania. Talk a little bit about the quarterback, a little bit about this game against Miami today. And then in Pat's preview, going to switch it up a little bit. We want to talk a little bit about offensive keys to victory and so on. But what are the offensive and defensive keys to victory for beating the rest of the league? Okay, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then in Sunday Spread, going to talk about our path to the Super Bowl, preview some of the key games that are going on in the league, and give you some of our picks. Gentlemen, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
How you doing? How was the New Year? And for those of you who didn't listen to Catone's comments yesterday, make sure you go back and listen to Mark's rant on the holidays and going to the store and getting those doilies for the cookies. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go and listen because it's definitely worth it. So, how you guys doing?
Hey.
Oh, wonderful. It's 2026, Chris.
What the hell does that mean?
I have no idea. I just figured I'd say it. I don't know.
Not as good as this guy, though. Not as good as this guy right here.
What the hell is that?
You know, that was sent in confidence, you know.
Oh, I thought you wanted.
Now everybody knows my big secret, you know. Yeah, that was New Year's Eve. That was nice.
Let's
yes.
preface it, though, that you don't leave the house, of course. You never leave the house on New Year's Eve. You're right where you are sitting now was where that picture was taken, that selfie.
Oh, yeah,
You know.
by myself.
Yep.
Till about 3 o'clock in the morning, drooling all over myself. That was me on New Year's Eve. So
Yeah,
I hope you guys had a good one. But who's not having a good one right now is possibly Bondmore and Diggs and the Patriots with these distractions in this situation. Yesterday we called the Can the Patriots Deal with Distractions was the title to Corso and Catone yesterday. And not sure if they can or can't, but we're going to discuss it. We're going to do it in Weekly Rewind. We're going to do it right now. Going back through the week, about a Weekly Rewind.
You harp on players making good decisions. How disappointing is it to have to deal with this type of distraction involving two players with alleged cases against them, right now?
Sure. Well, I would say not disappointing at all. I think that these are allegations, like you mentioned in your question. It's things that we have to handle, and every day that there's distractions. Some are smaller than others, and I'm confident that we'll focus on the Dolphins, and those two individuals that you mentioned will be able to handle the ongoing legal process.
So that, of course, was Mike Vrabel in discussing the Christian Bondmore and Stephon Diggs situation. And for those of you who don't know, they both got into some legal trouble in August. Bondmore, there's a police report out there that alleges an assault and a battery misdemeanor on, I'm not sure, I don't know, I don't want to misspeak, so I don't know who it is to him, but it's definitely a domestic relationship. They may have a child in common, I don't know. And that was back in August. Charges are now coming from that. And then Stephon Diggs, the more serious of the charges, has got a felony strangulation, an assault, battery, misdemeanor, something that occurred on December 2nd, an incident that took place with, I guess, a live-in chef or somebody that was working for him
Working for him
at the time. Those are the allegations. There are police reports out there. And what you just heard was Mike Vrabel addressing these issues and taking a lot of heat for it, Mark. What do you make of the whole situation? The heat he's taken is because he used the phrase not disappointed at all. And I think it's been taken pretty well out of context. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, okay, listen. So should somebody have given him some talking points, walking out there? Maybe. Belichick wouldn't even have answered the question. Belichick would have just said, the team issued a statement, and they're going to work. We're going to work through the legal process, and we're not going to comment on that right now. That's probably how he would handle it. He wouldn't even have addressed the reporter.
Yeah.
But Mike did, to Mike's credit. And that's how Mike's been all year. He answers questions. But you brought up a good point yesterday, Chris. These reporters.
I bring up so many good points. It's so hard to.
Joe, really, Joe, really.
Maybe you should show that picture again. That's where I come up with all my good points.
That's why you come up with those points, falsetto. Listen, so.
Falsetto.
Yeah, that's what your points are. So, but no, you brought up a good point yesterday, Chris. You said, Mark, some of these reporters, and you called out a couple specifically, and I'll allow you to do that.
Trenny Casey and Matt McCarthy specifically.
All over Vrabel for his comments. But they're being a bit hypocritical, Chris, because they've been praising Vrabel all year. Everybody has in the media about the culture he's built, and he's got his players' backs. And his opening press conference, Chris, he says, we're going to be a family here, and we're going to support each other. We're going to love each other. We're going to go through the, ups and downs. If somebody screws up, come and see us, talk to us. We'll work through the problem. He said that at his opening press conference, day one. Right. Well, so now these two situations happen. In the case of Diggs is categorically denying that ever occurred. Now, so what's Vrabel supposed to say?
As is Bondmore.
As is Bondmore. So what is Bondmore is a little more dicey.
But there's more evidence out there right now.
Pictures, right? Which we don't know what those pictures are, like whether they, that has to play out. But with Diggs, so he categorically denies it. So what's Vrabel gonna not believe his player? Not have, and say, well, yeah, I'm disappointed, basically saying Stefan's a liar because Stefan's saying it never occurred. So he's got his players back. Let the legal process play out. And if it's proven that these things did happen, well, you can bet that the team and Vrabel will have a different statement and a different response to a question like that. But
I'm sure they'll be disciplined to follow.
Yeah, absolutely. But right now, let the legal process play out. My player is categorically telling me this did not happen, Coach. I got his back. I believe him. We're going to support him. And let's see what happens. So these reporters, Chris, are being a bit hypocritical, I think, because they've praised Vrabel over the course of the season for building that culture. Well, now, because of that answer, now what's the matter? That culture's no good now. That culture that he's built since training camp, since his opening press conference. That's what
January, February, whenever he came in.
Yeah. So now all of a sudden, that's no good, Chris. They're crucifying him for that statement, for basically standing by his players, saying, "Hey, I'm not disappointed because I don't know what happened."
Yeah, they're saying that's falsetto. They're saying that's falsetto.
But listen, that's a BS leading question. They're asking him because you guys are talking about the idea of culture. It's like, but that's not even what she's asking. She's asking, aren't you angry at this situation? She's asking him his feelings, and he's like, I don't have feelings. I'm the coach of this team, and my feelings of this whole thing don't get into the. She's like, aren't you disappointed at your youth players? It's like, no, I'm not disappointed. You're asking me my feelings, but then the rest of the media takes that out of context.
Well, why they took it out of context is, and again, I don't think we need to sit here and say, listen, obviously, if the allegations are proven true, we're supporting the guy.
Look, Chris, you've dealt with 1,000 of these cases as a defense attorney and a prosecutor. You've dealt with 1,000 of these cases.
Thousands of them, thousands. And, if you're like, well, if this wasn't the Stephon Diggs situation, well, if it wasn't true, why would they have gone all the steps to take? Look, they've indictments, charges are just that. They're that's not proven. None of that's proven. But nobody's going to sit on this show or any other show and condone any type of violence. Of course not.
No.
Or support it. Absolutely not. We don't even need to say that. The point is, when he's asked a specific question, and he walked into it, he definitely walked into it because of the way of the phrasing of that question. I don't know if she intended it. She's a good reporter, Karen. Good. But the question was, are you disappointed in the distraction? Basically, like the question was, these players, the things that are going on, are you disappointed in dealing with the distraction? That's what it was. So his answer to that is, no, I'm not disappointed at all in having to deal with distractions because that's part of the job. That's what it is. We have distractions all the time. Some are big, some are small, some are more monumental than others. This one is, obviously. But I'm not disappointed in having to deal with distractions. That's what I do. That's part of my job. That's what I signed up for. That's what he was saying. I'm not disappointed in what happened or what may have happened.
It didn't come out that way, Chris, but you're right. That's I think what he meant too. Yeah. And Joe brought this up on yesterday's show. We started the season with the distraction of the boat, right?
Right. Bookend.
That's how we started the season. So now we bookended with this distraction, right? The boat was definitely a distraction. The video goes viral. Where's that video, Joe? Right? And but Joe's right. Now we bookended with this.
Now, again, is it going to be a distraction in the locker room? Well, this is what the players have to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, man. He means a lot to this team. He's breaking the huddle down before practice today. He's chirping at me on the sideline to give him the rock. He's pumping up the young guys when they make big plays. He's blocking downfield. He's he gives off the persona of one of those guys that you just want to be teammates with. And B Moore just I love talking crap with B Moore. He's passionate about football, passionate about the game. Really, I think those guys, personally, I think they just care about one another. They care about each other, and they care about this football team. That's the biggest thing.
Just good dudes. Some of the best dudes I've been around. Great teammates, great leaders, and they've done a lot for our team this year.
It looks like more of a distraction from probably the outside, but we're focused on us. It's a bunch of professionals in this locker room. If young guys need help, then we're obviously here to help them focus on, hey, you got a job to do, let's just do your job. And so that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, and now, of course, it was Drake May, Milton Williams, and I want to say was the other one Hooper. I don't remember exactly, but another veteran. It was another veteran. You see the two veterans stood up. So should they be criticized too then, I guess?
And Chris, he mentions, May mentions Diggs breaking things down. Well, there was a video that came out, and of course it got released. He's breaking down practice the other day. It might have been yesterday or the day before. Yeah. He's breaking down practice, Chris, with the guys in the huddle. And he's how they close out practice. And so is it a distraction? Okay, maybe it was a distraction for the 2 hours that it was released or 3 hours it was released. The information came out that day. But then after that, they're focused on football, Chris. They're in a Super Bowl run. They're going to go on a Super Bowl run now. You're ready to hit the playoffs and see how far you can go. I think they got enough veteran leadership in that locker room with guys like Hooper, Diggs, even a Spillane, and Diggs is a veteran. You got guys in that locker room that should be able to hold them together and say, "Hey guys, let's go. Let's focus. Let's get ready. We got an important job ahead of us, and we'll deal with whatever the fallout is after. We'll see how this plays out legally, and however it plays out, we'll deal with it after it plays out. If it plays out, however that happens. But right now, we got something to focus on."
I don't think it's a distraction at all.
No.
It's funny when you hear
this isn't the Aaron Hernandez situation where they surrounded the house and went in with guns drawn and with a warrant to arrest this guy. Like it's a
but Mark, even with that, even if it were that,
yeah,
the media is funny. I've never seen such egotistical people in my life who think so much like a Stephen A. Smith, who everybody's watching me. Everybody, you honestly think Tom Curran and Perry and Carrie Trenny and Bert Breer and all these people that you hear every single day talking, God damn it, deflate your egos a little bit, will you please? Do you really think they give a shit as much as you want them to give a shit about what you're saying? Because they don't. That's the point. The point is that any distraction is going to be because you guys are talking about it, the media, which is your job. You're supposed to. Nobody's coming down on any of these people for talking about this like we're talking about it right now, okay? And giving their opinions and saying it was a misstep, Trenny Casey. It was a misstep by Vrabel to say what he said and to not care about, it's basically not showing respect to the victims. Well, you just concluded, Trenny, that this person is a victim. You've made
don't know if that's true.
You've made a legal conclusion without knowing anything,
without seeing any of the evidence. All you've got is what somebody is saying. In the Diggs case, we have very little evidence.
I'm not making those conclusions.
Maybe there's some pictures of bruises. We don't know.
Right, but once again, I don't know. I haven't looked at any of the evidence. I haven't read the reports. I haven't looked at any of the stuff.
She's an attorney. She's an attorney, Chris, and she does this every day. She
analyzes she said evidence. She's married to one, I think she said.
Oh, she's married to one. Okay, she's married to one. So therefore that makes her an attorney. Okay.
I don't know.
So your wife's an attorney. She can go make.
But it's because of the disappointment. This is what I'm saying. You're disappointed, so you're creating the distractions because you're talking about it, which is your job, and you're entitled to do that. My point to you people, you media people out there, is get off your friggin' high horse. They don't care as much as you think they care about what you're saying.
Not only that, let me say this though.
They don't mock
Diggs. Talk about Diggs for a second, where he's just a veteran in the league, but he's also a veteran to these situations. So this is not distracting him.
Well, I don't know about this particular type of situation. I don't know if he's had
time offender, right? That's more first-time person. Like he's thinking about it, right? And that would distract his play. He's done this. He's been in this situation before. He's a veteran in that sort of thing. He knows he could just go focus on football now. The lawyer's going to take care of that.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, I don't think Joe's saying that Diggs has been in a legal situation where he's been charged with crimes and all that before. You've been around the league. And you've
been around this
time. And listen, I just want to stress that Chris and I do not condone any behavior like this. But we don't know what has occurred yet. This is what the evidence has to play out, and let's see what happens.
Absolutely.
And if these people are proven to be guilty, we will be the first two people to chat to say, what we got to say about the situation. But we don't know anything yet.
Right. And we also need to point out too that I'm not going to sit here and down Mike Vrabel for supporting who he considers to be in the family. Like he created this culture from the moment he walked through the door. Then everybody's been proud. He's going to win Coach of the Year because of the culture that he created. Okay. And so to now turn around and say, well, okay, yeah, you created the culture of support that we're going to support these guys on and off the field, that they're human beings. We support their family as well, which, by the way, kudos to the New England Patriots for sending a car service when asked to do that and take the alleged victim down to Delaware. Maybe they knew more of what was going on. Maybe they knew less. Maybe they knew nothing. Maybe it was just a ride.
Even at that, Chris, these reporters are saying that, the Patriots were complicit by sending the car, and they knew. You don't know what the phone call was for the car. Bonmore might have called and said, "Listen, I need a car because he wanted to get out of the house. I need a ride." You don't have the transcript.
No idea.
You don't have the audio tape of the phone call. You don't even know what that was about.
But I give the Patriots, I give the Patriots full credit for providing services like that. My point is, I'm not, like Mark said, he qualified and said, "Hey, look, gave that disclaimer. We don't support this, that, but we also are going to support the culture that Vrabel has created. It's been successful. He believes in it. His players believe in it. And if they consider themselves a family, then no. To them, it's not a distraction. To them, this is just a more media stuff, more nonsense that has to go on in par for the course with the rest of it all that has been going on. As Joe said, some of these guys have been around a long time in the league and have dealt with other guys on teams, situations like this, distractions like this before. So stop patting your damn egos out there, media, thinking that these guys, oh my God, how are they going to deal with the fact that they got to answer questions? They're always answering questions. They don't care. They don't care about the questions. That's it. That's the culture he created in this situation. So yeah, let's let it play out. Let's let it play out. Give them the opportunity that every other citizen is afforded.
It is the United States of America, right? You're innocent until proven guilty, not the opposite. Chris is my understanding of the legal system.
Sure, and you know what? And if it's proven they did it, throw the book at them. I don't know. What do you want me to say? That's it. Let it play out. But don't down the culture now. Don't dog the culture and make it like it's BS. Oh, culture only applies to football. It doesn't apply to everything else. No, according to Vrabel, the culture applies to on and off the field. He's going to support some of these guys until such time as they don't deserve the support anymore. Yep. And that's yet to be determined. So that's our 2 cents in all this. With that nice, lovely picture you sent earlier. But, so Weekly Rewind was presented by the Pats, Corso and Catone. The Real Deal, New England Field, Saturdays, noon Eastern. Hey, make sure you tune in. We're going to have our breakdown of this Miami game next week and the playoff picture. So make sure you tune into that. But when we come back, going to go into the quarterback room. Drake Mania is next.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more Corso and Catone.
Saturdays at noon.
Back in with more Pats Nation. All right, guys, we're going to talk a little football now. Want to talk some football? So we're going to do that. We're going to talk a little bit. We're going to start with Drake May, go through into the quarterback room, talk about him, talk about his season, talk about this game, and so much more. Do it in Drake Mania. I'm going to do it right now.
I just think he's getting a lot more comfortable. He's knowledgeable. I think it means a lot to him to be able to manage and understand where we're going with the football and the run game and, in the passing game and knowing where he needs to be and where the protection issue may be. And, then I think there's trust with the protection. At times I think that there's trust. I think that there's a trust that he can transfer into the pocket. He can also extend. They got him a little bit on the one coverage and they jumped into cover two. He took a peek and then took off. And so, I know defensively that's frustrating because here you are, you see, get a quarterback to think it's one coverage and it's something else. And then all of a sudden he just takes off and scrambles for a first down.
That, of course, was Mike Vrabel discussing his quarterback. And so I'm glad he talked about that cover two situation because a few weeks back, I guess it was against Buffalo where they were running that cover two shell, but running man coverage underneath it. And it bothered him. You could tell. Confused him a little. It bothered him. And this team tried to do similar things. Only this time he was able to find lane and take off. Running.
Chris, the Baltimore game too. Baltimore threw the kitchen sink at him. Like they were trying to disguise things, backing out of things, changing things at the snap, and he did a pretty good job, I thought, Chris, in that Baltimore game, especially in the fourth quarter. Obviously, he brings them back, but he did a pretty good job of identifying and understanding what was in front of him in that game, Chris.
Yeah, Is he the reason for this? Is he the number one reason for this? The success this team has had?
In my opinion, yes.
Yeah. The strides that he's made.
The progression, yeah. From
it's I've never seen a quarterback be able to jump to the level he is right now. Because in all honesty, I feel like he should win the MVP. I think it's going to be because Stafford's going to sit out. I believe he'll probably sit out this week.
Probably.
I
still think Stafford's going to squeak it out, Chris. I just had that feeling. He's been in the league so long, and that'll be the topper of his career. He's won a Super Bowl. But he shouldn't. It should. If May comes out and has a good game this week again, it should be Drake May, should be the MVP. I just don't know if he'll win it, though, Chris.
Well, there's a lot of things to factor in. I mean, you could take the schedule. To me, the easy schedule for New England versus Stafford's weapons that Drake May doesn't have. Those two things kind of cancel each other out.
Imagine May with Nakua and Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I mean, he's got more weapons. He's got and so on. Now, again, Drake May's played an easier schedule. So, and it's funny too because when asked about the MVP, and this is one of the reasons why I believe he is the MVP of this team, of the league, and why I think years to come he's going to be great. This is what he said.
4,000 passing yards this season now. The only two quarterbacks to do that before you were Tom Brady and Drew Bledsoe. What's it like to kind of hit that mark and be in conversation with those two quarterbacks?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm in conversation with them two. Those are probably two best in Patriots. So, it's an honor to do that, but it takes everybody. It takes everybody, and like we say in the offensive room, it takes everybody. 11 of each and every play, and whether it's me throwing for that many yards or throwing for 20 yards, whatever it takes to win, I think that's the most important thing. And the thing I care about is our win-loss record, and we still got some work left to do and some games ahead that should be fun. No, but I'll make sure I'll tell him he needs to buy me dinner or something. So whatever. We're not looking to hunt up incentives. We're just looking to hunt up wins. So thank you guys.
Yeah. So again. Yeah, a lot of guys talk that way. It's a lot of media speak, they're trained to talk that way, but I think he believes it. When I watch him play and I watch his attitude and how his actions are, I don't see a level of arrogance in him. I see confidence.
I agree with that, Chris. Yeah, I agree with that. And listen, his success is going to be measured because he hasn't never been. This is going to be his first time in the playoffs. It's going to be measured because we had number 12 here for all those years and won all those Super Bowls. May's success, Chris, ultimately will be judged by what do you do in the playoffs, championships, and what do you do in the playoffs? Because listen,
and that may not be fair, but that's the seat you're sitting in.
It may not be fair, but that's the seat he's sitting in. Absolutely. Listen, as good as Josh Allen is, Chris, he can't get over the hump.
Can't get over that hump.
Can't get over the hump. Now, this is the year. No Mahomes. Maybe he's going to have to deal with Lamar Jackson. We don't know yet.
No Burrow.
No Joe Burrow. None of those guys are in it. This is the year you would say, this is Buffalo's year. They're going to go. Well, I don't know. Buffalo, Chris, something's not right with that team. So I don't know. But if Josh Allen can't get over the hump and never gets over the hump, okay, maybe you have a Hall of Fame career, but you can't be considered an all-time great, in my opinion. I mean, Dan Marino in the Hall of Fame was a great quarterback. Is he an all-time great? I would say no. He couldn't win anything. Couldn't win his team to win a Super Bowl.
Again, yeah, it's
Montana 4-0 in Super Bowls. Joe's got the T-shirt.
Yeah, Joe's still sporting that shirt, but
they're just coming out with the documentary too right now. Yeah.
But yeah, no, seriously. So for today, Mark, and talking about today's game, because look, let's Miami beat this Tampa Bay team last week, who may end up playoffs. Now, you have specific feelings on Tampa Bay and how down the slide Baker Mayfield you think got. But understand too, Baker Mayfield threw for 340 yards in that game, 2 touchdowns. He did throw 2 picks against the Dolphins. So this defense can be had today.
The Dolphins, Chris, have gotten some turnovers the last few games. But yes, this defense can be had. Chris, the middle of the field is the weakness of this team. And that's the Patriots' strength is crossers, dig routes. That's what May has been really successful at, Chris, moving the pocket. And that plays right into, I think, Miami's weakness. But that's what May has excelled at over May, Chris, I think he's got at least it's almost 8 yards per attempt when he throws in the middle of the field.
Can I ask this question?
So May's really done that well this year, Chris. That's one of the things he has picked up that in this offense is look, there it is. Boom, boom. He's picked that up pretty well.
Yeah.
With today's win or loss, manufacture a better spot or worse spot strategically for the playoffs for us? And would that be like something you'd see from Drake May, those types of decisions, whether or not like he plays better or not? If it's one of those things where, let's say for some reason a loss to Miami today would actually get us a better spot en route to the Super Bowl, so to speak.
Well, I don't think it does. I mean, there's a big difference to me between the 2 and the 3 spot, because if you end up in the number 2 spot, let's just assume for a minute Denver wins, okay, and they get home field, okay. To me, you want number 2 because that gives you 2 games. You know, you're going to be at home until you have to go to Denver. Until AFC Championship game is the only time you'll have to go on the road, possibly. Otherwise, you get to play at home, right?
And you hope you hope in that divisional round, a team can go into Denver and beat them, and then you never leave home. So
right,
if you're at a 3 seed, you got to leave home. You could possibly leave home
for the division round to say go to Jacksonville.
Yeah,
right.
You know, so no, all hands on deck. And if there's a chance today for them to get the number 1 seed, and there's a chance because they kick off at 4:25, and so doesn't Denver. You got to play.
Yeah,
you got to bring it.
Got to bring it.
That's
today.
it. You got to bring it. So yeah, we both think he's the MVP. I think he should be the league MVP, but he's certainly the MVP of this team. And to me, he's the number 1 reason why this team is where they are right now. Culture second, with Vrabel's number 2 in my book. Okay, as to why this is all happening. But Drake May, and I'll throw McDaniels on the pile there too, as to what he's done with this guy. So we'll see what he does today. Let's see how he organizes this team today. We'll see what the injury report comes out later on, what that's about, and who's going to be playing. But Drake Mania was presented by Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. CorsoLawGroup.com. Allow us to be your voice. And we come back, going to go into Pat's preview, talk some offensive and defensive keys to victory. No flipping.
No one ever thinks they will be in need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Call or go online to CorsoLawGroup.com and talk with these expert attorneys.
Back in with more Pats Nation. All right, guys, we're going to deal with this game today. We're going to deal with other games around the league. We want to talk about it all. We want to do it in Pat's preview, and we're going to do it now.
Pat's preview.
Yeah, I think it changes them a lot. I mean, you look at the Bills game where, which they lost, that was sort of, I wouldn't say the low point for Steph Diggs with the Patriots, but it was definitely his roughest game. And there was a lot of stuff that I hadn't seen in that game. I hadn't seen all season until that game, including, there were 3 pretty crucial plays where Drake May's really looking for him, and Diggs should have been open, but Diggs for some reason was turning the wrong way in that game. And I don't know why we've seen the turnaround the last 2 weeks. Maybe he heard some of the chatter. Maybe he just had a conversation with Mike Vrabel after the Bills game where they looked at the film and said, hey, you got to be better than this if we're going to do anything this season, because we need our best players to play their best.
Yeah, and that was Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal talking about Diggs, who, to me, Mark, after May, he's the next most valuable player on this offense. You?
Oh, positive, 100%. Yep, 100%. He is.
So what do you need to see from him and the wide receiving core? Not just today's game, but moving forward into the playoffs. Because no Mike Hollins is a big loss for this team.
That's a big loss, Chris, because he opened up that middle of the field with some of those routes, those seam routes, and down the middle of routes. He was running, Chris. He opened up a lot of those crossers and dig routes for guys. Hollins was a key in opening that up for them. So without him, it's going to make things a little more difficult. Because let's be honest, Chris, the majority of this receiver room cannot get separation.
No, I agree.
On their own, right? On their own.
You see, everybody's talking about Williams. They think Williams, when you put hands on Williams, he's not getting separation.
Listen, the touchdown against Baltimore was a great route, great catch, made a great catch in the corner. But he used his feet which you saw in college, Chris. You said, "Mom, he's got a first step. He's got a step where he can."
He's got that Devontae Adams footwork.
Yes, and that's what you brought up when they drafted him. However, if that doesn't work, and somebody gets their hands on him, it's all over. He cannot get open. And the majority of the time in this league, Chris, unless Devontae Adams is a borderline Hall of Famer, maybe, I don't know. That very rarely works, Chris, unless you're that elite. And he's not that level elite player. So, anyway, enough on him. But, I mean, I don't think you're going to see Booty this week again, Chris, because I think this is the second time he's had a concussion. Typically, the protocol is if it's your second concussion, they make you sit out 2 weeks. So I don't think you'll see him until the playoffs. So it's going to be the same group we had last week. It's going to be Diggs. It's going to be Williams. It's going to be
Chisholm.
Pop Douglas, and probably Chisholm.
Talk about Chisholm a little.
That's
you were
going to
so
be
happy, weren't you?
Oh, my God, was I happy. Listen to me. The first catch he makes in the middle of the field, stumbled a little bit.
Well, he stumbled on when he was taking off, but the route was nice.
When he was taking off, the route was nice. But, Chris, if you put a different number on him, you would have thought that was Edelman. If you put 11 on him on that play, you would have thought it was Edelman.
Yeah, what I liked about it was the read.
Yeah.
Because when you read the way the defense, they pulled it up to man coverage, okay? It was a spread. I believe that play it was spread. So they had an empty backfield. So it was receivers spread out 2, I think, up to his side, and I think 3 down to the right. And what looked like man coverage with maybe single high behind it. Okay. So it was definitely an option read route, and you could see there was a blitz coming off his end. So coming from the same side Chisholm was running, both of those players had to read that hot route. That slant, that little, and they did. And you're right. It kind of looked familiar, didn't it?
And Chris, he was open a couple of other times, clearly open. I saw him open at least 2 more times where he would have probably got 15, 20-yard gains. But Drake went to his security blanket. Once he went to Diggs, who was also open, even though Chisholm was open. And once he went to Hunter Henry. But Chisholm was also open on that. So Chisholm probably, Chris, could have had another, I'd say, at least 30 yards, which puts him close to 80 yards, a couple of more receptions, touchdown. That's not bad for an undrafted rookie making his first,
like I said, taking Diggs out of the equation.
With the touchdown, too.
What's that?
You were impressed with the touchdown, the route for the touchdown, too.
The route. I mean, it wasn't a jerk route or whip route or anything like that required,
He went down and made a good catch, though.
He just bowed the route, but the catch was good. The throw was better. I just look at that guy and I look at the team and I say, okay, outside, take Diggs away for a minute. I think Chisholm runs the best routes. I think he's your best route runner on this team.
And we've said it all year long, Chris.
So
he's just not playing because of the culture that Vrabel's building and because of Pop Douglas. But we firmly believe next year he will jump ahead of probably Doug. I wouldn't be surprised if Douglas gets traded for if you can get some kind of a pick for him in the offseason, because I think Chisholm's probably ready for that role.
Because you're not going to pay Booty and Douglas. You're not going to pay both in the same class. Go ahead.
And they're both going to be up for contracts. You'll pay Booty.
I think the culture itself, you finally got like a rare glimpse when Chisholm made the touchdown and the team surrounded him and the excitement they had for him.
Genuine.
Genuine. Yes.
It was genuine.
You can tell the difference.
I think the team knew and knows this kid should probably be getting more playing time, but it is what it is this year. And I think that's why everybody was excited for him too, Chris, because I think the kid's probably working his ass off in practice, doing all the right things. And you know what I mean? And did you notice what he had on?
He had red gloves on.
Did you notice the red gloves? Who else
I did
used to wear the red gloves?
I mean, let's not get too excited.
I'm just saying, I thought when I saw the gloves, I started laughing. I'm like, are you kidding me? Really?
The kid could definitely run routes. So we'll see how that progresses. Now, before we get over to the defense, the running game, Mark, look.
You've really been impressed with the last 3-4 weeks with Stevenson, Chris.
I'm impressed with Stevenson. I'm not impressed with the running game per se because I
No.
think it needs to be a hell of a lot better, and it's been a struggle. It's been a definite struggle all season long to get a good, consistent running attack. However, I will say, over the last several weeks, I've watched Stevenson really surpass Henderson as your lead, every down guy. He can pick full blitz pickup. Now he's catching balls out of the backfield. You and I have been wondering where the hell that's been, all season long, where those are some nice route concepts where you're releasing your back through a BC gap. And it also allows you to be able to defend that double bunk look where everybody's lined up across the line of scrimmage for the defense, in a zero look where guys are in the A gap. You have the two backers in the A gaps. You don't know who's coming. You don't know who's dropping. Stevenson's perfect in that role where they bring him up a little bit. He can protect, but he can also release and run some good. He ran a nice fade or a corner route for that touchdown.
And by the way, Chris, that's something you can beat Miami's defense with. So a key to offensively is going to be getting those balls to the running backs out of the backfield, because that's another weakness of this Miami defense.
Yeah. So let's see. I mean, offensively, I think May's in a position to lock up the MVP this week if he has a great game, because I don't think Stafford's going to play. So if it's not a lifetime achievement award and they give it to the guy who deserves it, I think this week May take it. And so we'll see what happens with the running game. Pay attention to that running game in the playoffs, because you're going to need some semblance of it. Now, on the other side of the ball, Mark. So
your favorite side of the ball, Chris.
Yeah, love it. If they don't win a Super Bowl, okay, I'm saying it now, okay, because the goal now has got to be to get to the damn Super Bowl. What's the point? If you're going to win today and get 14 wins,
and
what's the point?
What's the point?
Intelligent. I love these guys that talk about, discussing them being in a Super Bowl. Well, I mean, if they don't make it, then are you disappointed? Because they're playing with house money and all that stuff, right? Intelligence allows for a change, does it not?
Yeah. Sure.
Like, I have information now that I didn't have in August.
Back in August, no.
And the information I have is that Drake May is an MVP caliber quarterback. So, therefore, my expectation is changed now, because that's what intelligence does it not?
Yes. Oh, positive, 100%. 100%. Chris, listen.
Will the defense be the reason if they don't?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. Yeah. Listen, there's things there, Chris, and you've been saying this for weeks. You're like, Mark, this isn't fixable this year. You can't fix this. You can try to hide it. You can try to disguise it. But their weaknesses on defense are not fixable. You said, Mark, we can't fix that this year. It's a personnel issue. It's not a scheme issue. It's a personnel issue that can't be fixed this year. Explain, Chris.
Because you're fitting square pegs into round holes. You have an inside line. Let's just take the middle of the field. Because to me, that's the biggest glare. Now, I get people say, well, edge rush is a big problem for them. And it is. And it is. Okay, so I'll give you that too. But the middle of the field, the difference between, you could still win a Super Bowl and not have a good front four push, and you need to blitz and you need to have other guys that can, other scheme pressure. But you can't, it's very difficult to scheme away the deficiencies in the middle of this field, meaning your linebacking core is just subpar. Ellis, who's the other one? Gibbons, Devay, even Spillane. These guys are limited in what they can do. There's a reason why tight ends are killing us every week, because we can't cover them. We don't have the speed. Our get up, our burst to go to a route is just not there. We don't have those guys that can do it. We don't have Greenlaw on this team, to be able to do those things. That's a problem. You can't fix that. You can scheme through it some, but you can't for sure aren't going to fix it this year. And the other issue too is, well, okay, we should be able to, and that hurts you in your ability to be able to play man. It's a trickle-down effect, Mark.
So is that why, Chris, in your opinion, they've been playing more zone?
It is, because you have corners. You have two corners that play predominantly man coverage. That's their forte. That's what they do. That's what they're good at. Gonzalez and Davis. They're good man, and even Jones. Good man cover. The problem is when you don't have five guys, when you feel weak on the other two, either the safety, another slot corner, a nickel corner, or even a linebacker that's going to have to be man on somebody. If you want to run man coverage, you got to have 5 guys that can play man coverage that play it well. You don't feel comfortable in that, then you're going to shy away from doing it. And that's hurting Gonzalez.
Even our safeties, though, Chris, yes, the kid Woodson, the rookie, has had a good season, but can he really play man coverage, Chris?
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that he can, and I haven't seen Hawkins be able to do it either.
No.
And so to me,
Chris has been beat a couple of times in key situations this year, or he's gotten a penalty.
Right. And so to me, that's the problem with this defense. And those are the deficiencies you just can't – you're not going to be able to solve those right now. You just can't do it. So they're going to have to mask it. But if they can't progress, if they can't go forward to a Super Bowl and win one, listen, people, it's not going to be because of the offense. It's going to be because of the defense. So, Mark, that leads you to – well, we're going to get into it in Sunday Spread, who we want to play and who we don't want to play, So we'll get to that in a second. But Pat's preview – was presented by Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm, corsolawgroup.com. Allow us to be your voice. When we come back, we're going to go into the sports book, going to pick some games for you, make you some money. We're also going to go around the league at some of these key games this weekend and see what the Patriots need to have happen. All that and more. Stick around.
No one ever thinks they will be in need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Call or go online to corsolawgroup.com and talk with these expert attorneys.
Back in with more Pats Nation. All right, guys, we ready to make some money today?
I'm ready. I don't know about you. I'm ready. We need to make some money, Chris. Jesus.
I'm telling you, Christmas killed us, so we're going to do that in Sunday Spread. Okay, all right. So how do we want to do this? Because I want to talk about some of these
Chris.
key
This
games,
is a tough week because a lot of teams are sitting guys. This is a tough week. You don't know who's sitting, who's not sitting, who's going to play the first quarter, then you take your starters out. This is a tough week to gamble. Tough week.
Mark, before we give our picks, let's talk about a couple of key games that we need to be looking at.
Okay.
The number 1 seed is still open. It's still available.
It is.
So the
Chargers are sitting Hebert, you said, right?
They're going to sit Hebert. Herbert's not going to play.
Who's playing? Trey Lance.
Trey Lance is going to play at Denver. Okay. Let's see what the line is on that one. It's 12 and a half. Okay. Is Denver favored? Is there any chance? Is there any chance the Chargers can walk in there and win that game?
Not with Trey Lance, not against that defense. If the game was at LA and maybe at home, maybe you could manufacture something with Lance, but not in that. I just don't see it in that stadium with Trey Lance, Chris. I don't. Do you?
No. I want to see it. I want to
see
so badly.
But no, not in that stadium, Chris.
So the chances of us getting,
because I wouldn't be surprised, Chris, if you see even a guy like, even like if he, I don't know what their health situation is. We'd have to look at. I haven't seen the inactives yet for that game or in the injury report per se. Like, if a guy like McConkey is a little banged up, are you gonna sit him? Like, you don't know who else they're sitting. They just haven't made it public. Do you know what I mean?
I will say this. Trey Lance brings an element in the run game.
Does. Sure he does.
That you didn't have before.
Yes. Hebert's a sitting target back there. Yes. With the broken hand, Hebert's not running out of the pocket as much, Chris, because he can't get hit. So you're right. Lance will get out of there and won't get sacked as much as Hebert would have. You are right. And he'll run.
So when you're looking at the 12.5 point spread, okay, so if it's just simply a betting matter, I'll tell you what, I may take the Chargers in this game with that point spread. In fact, I may even tease them up. And the reason why is because Denver hasn't blown anyone out.
No, they really haven't. You're right about that, Chris. Even the games they win are competitive games, right?
So that's a game that we're going to be focused on and paying attention to this week. And then, a couple. So really, that's really the one.
I'm going to tell you, Chris. I'm going to tell you who I like today. If there's one thing you say to me, because they're both 425 games.
Yeah.
Chicago and Philly are playing for seeding. And it's important seeding because they're playing for the number 2 seed, I believe, Chris.
Yeah.
Which, to your point when we were talking about New England earlier.
Yeah, and keep in mind, people, they're not playing against each other, but they're playing.
But to your point earlier, Chris, when we were talking about the Patriots, that number 2 seed's important because you don't got to leave. So for a team like Philly, if you don't got to leave to the NFC Championship game and, by the way, somebody pulls an upset off in the divisional round and you don't got to leave that stadium, there's a good chance you can, go back to the Super Bowl. A young team like Chicago, if you can stay home, that's a big a big advantage to you.
And that's a game that I like today too. That's a 3-point spread.
I love both Chicago and Philadelphia, and I'm going to bet them in a tease and get points with both teams because I think both teams are playing at the same time. They're both going to play to win because they're playing for that number 2 seed, Chris. And, and like I say, the number 2 seed I think is important, especially for a team that's been as inconsistent as Philly has been.
Well, I'll say, too, to that game, to that Detroit-Chicago game, and Chicago's favored over Detroit by 3 points. That's the tougher of the two situations because Detroit's not, Campbell. I mean, he's not going to, Dan Campbell, he's not going to want to give in. He's going to want to, they're not in the playoffs now, but he's looking, he's going to want to kick Chicago in the nuts on his way out the door, the divisional game. So it's going to be a little more difficult for Chicago than I think Philly.
Chris, if Detroit loses this week and it's a bad loss going into next season, Campbell's going to be on the hot seat.
Yeah. And he should be. They got loads of talent.
Because everyone is saying, you had some success for a couple of years, your success because you had Ben Johnson.
Right. And that line on that Philly game, Washington they're playing, they're favored by 4.5. So you like both of those games with the point.
I'll tease him. I tease him. Yeah.
You want to tease him the other way. Okay.
Tease him the other way.
Now it's in moving over to the AFC a little bit. So we talk about in our division because Buffalo still, they're still playing for some things. Now, if let's just
I think play Allen, Chris, one snap. Just so he can keep the streak going of consecutive games, and I think they're going to sit him like they did against us last year. The only and I realize it's the last game in Orchard Park. That's big stadium, right? but those idiots going to jump and bust chairs and all kind of crazy shit in the parking lot, right? It's the last game in that place.
Yeah. Well, I don't know because let's break this down because. So we're assuming a Chargers loss, right?
I think you kind of have to, no?
Okay. So let's say let's just assume that for a moment. What time is now? The Jets are playing at Buffalo. It's a 7.5 point spread. That's a 1:00 game. Okay. No, that's a 2:25 game. So they're playing at the same time.
They're playing at the same time we are.
Do you feel because
Jacksonville's 1:00, Chris? Jacksonville.
But my question to you is this, okay? While you cough up a lung, go take a sip of water. My question to you is this: what does Buffalo want? Because that's what's going to tell you what they do. Because if they do sit Allen, like you're talking about, playing one snap, whatever they do, and they put him on the bench. Because let's face it, they should kill the Jets. Listen,
I think even with Mitch Trubisky, who I believe is the backup, I still think they can beat the Jets. The Jets aren't even an NFL football team.
So
they're not. That's not an NFL. You watched them last week, Chris. They're not even an NFL football team.
So you don't think that the Buffalo cares at all where their seating is? They don't mind coming to New England.
If you listen to the national media, they'd rather come to New England. That's all I heard.
Go to Jacksonville.
Yes, that's what I heard in the national media. We got no respect this week, Chris. They're all saying, "Oh, if we're Buffalo, you want to go to New England? You got the better quarterback." What? This year?
They beat us by 4.
In a game,
35-31.
In a game, you were up 21-0, Chris.
Right. They beat us 35. Was it 35-31?
Yeah.
Is New England going to allow you to score 5 touchdowns in a row again?
No.
With Williams back and Spillane back, and
No, listen. So, but that's what everyone is saying, that Buffalo would rather come here. And if Buffalo loses, Chris, and we win, if Denver wins, Buffalo comes here.
Right. I'm shocked by that thought. And the reason I'm shocked by that thought, and that may be what the national media is saying, but you never want to play a team a third time. Like
no.
Look, first couple of reasons. One, the weather. Okay, now you run the ball. You're a running team if you're Buffalo, so maybe you don't care about the weather. Maybe you want the weather to be crappy. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Jacksonville's going to be nice. The weather's going to be good. It's going to be conducive to whatever Allen wants to do back there. No issues there. But to go play a team that you split with, that you were knife and death with, that you were down 21-0 to, you want to go back there again in the playoffs? You choose that over Trevor Lawrence and that group down there that has never done it before?
I think the coach
either.
I think the coach has helped out Trevor Lawrence a lot. However, I take my chances over Trevor Lawrence than Drake May. That's for damn sure. I think my chances that Trevor Lawrence gives you a pick here, you know what I mean, over Drake May. Positively, I would.
Well, I can tell you this: it's bulletin board material. If Buffalo sits Allen this week, that's a direct message to the New England Patriots.
Yes,
right there.
Of course it is.
Put it on your board and use it, because
they want to come. They wanted to come here.
They want you. Okay,
they want you, and not Jacksonville.
All right. Any other games that you like this week? Oh, let me ask you this: because Houston's playing, Jacksonville's playing. Those are big spreads. I got Buffalo at the 7.5, Jacksonville at 13.5, Houston at -10. I'm going to tease that. I'm going to tease all 3 of those games.
Else that you like?
Well, I like those games, and I think I want to tease those down, to make it more reasonable in this situation.
Yeah.
So forget all that. Who do you want to play? Who don't you want to play? Who do you want to play?
You know who I want to play in the opening game? I want Houston. I think C.J. Stroud is going to wet himself again like he always does. I think if we play Houston, Chris, I know everyone says, that you don't want any part of that defensive front. You don't want any part of that front. I want them. Because I don't think they can score enough points to beat us at our place. I want Houston because I think we'll score in the 20s, and I think C.J. Stroud will put up his typical 13 to 17 points, and you'll win that game. That in my opinion.
I'd rather play a good defense than a good offense because I'm more concerned about our defense right now. I'm more concerned about
am too, and I'm not afraid of Houston's offense, Chris.
No, and you know what's funny is we should be.
Because we should be, but I think the quarterback is that inept. That listen, I think they play better with the backup.
Yeah.
What's his name? The guy that they said that Belichick wanted to draft for us.
Yeah. So okay. So you're looking at Houston. So you don't want to see a team like Jacksonville that can put points up, or those kinds of teams that could score.
No.
You're looking at more of a Houston situation. So me, the number 2 seed, Joe talked about this a little, he started to, is it may be the better road, because let's just assume Buffalo wins their last game at Orchard Park over there, that dump hole, like you said. Let's just assume they win that game against the Jets and the Chargers lose and we're playing the Chargers. Do you understand that the road to the Super Bowl may be Chargers, possibly either Houston or Pittsburgh? If they win the division and they win the first round at home, you'd be playing Pittsburgh. You have a situation where you may be playing the Chargers in round 1, Pittsburgh in round 2. I'll take that road.
That's if you're the what? The 2
If
seed.
2. Number 2.
Yeah. You need things to, if Buffalo
beats
wins,
the Jets,
yes, you will get the Chargers. You're absolutely right. And you could get Pittsburgh. That could be the road.
Or you get Baltimore, or you can get Houston in that second round. But you wouldn't see Buffalo. In that situation, Buffalo would be on the road to Jacksonville, which I think they'll beat Jacksonville. Davis Mills. Yeah.
I'd rather have him at quarterback. I'd be more afraid if he was the quarterback.
I think Buffalo will beat Jacksonville.
Well, so let me ask you this. Who wins this week? We didn't pick the Patriot game.
So our game, it's 10.5 points. So go ahead. Pick the winner, and then we got to go. I know we could do this all day. We could sit. I could sit on here and I could talk about the path all day long.
34-17 Patriots.
You put 34 up. 34-17 Patriots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's 27. Yeah. That's what they're covering. Yeah, I got them in the 30s too. I had 34. I'm going 34-20 because of late garbage time stuff.
Yep.
So I'm going, I'm going a 14-point win in this. So I think they'll cover that. I think they're going to slap this team around. But listen, Miami brought it against Tampa. They're going to bring it. They're going to bring it today. They're not just going to lay down in front of us. So going to have to be on our P's and Q's.
With the coach. The coach. You love.
So we'll see what happens. Yeah, you love Tony Martin. Yeah, you like him. We're going to have so much more of it next week. But the Pats Nation was presented by Corso and Catone, Saturdays, noon Eastern. Next week, we're going to have our breakdown of this Dolphins game along with our
playing, Chris. We'll know what the deal is.
We will know what that is, and we will have our playoff preview, Catone's comments, and so much more. Come back to this show next week, 8 a.m. Eastern. Going to have if we are playing next week, we'll be maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday. We'll see what schedule will be, but we're going to have our breakdown of the playoffs, our matchup, whoever it may be, Sunday spread. We're going to make you some money. We are the Pats Nation. Enjoy the game.